I don't see starters yet.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into the DNVR Nuggets Pregame Show, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Pew, 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 pew.
Is that the new thing we're doing?
I don't know. We need to do a cha-ching or something.
We just need to iron it out because I never know.
Use promo code DNVR when you sign up, and later, you want to do that right now. Dev, he didn't wear that cardigan to tell you some losers.
That is fresh.
Is that a cardigan? I never know.
Yes.
That's a cardigan, huh? Very
You look
classy.
good. I wouldn't have pegged you for a cardigan guy.
We're in like the 100th show together with Dev, and he's still bringing brand new fits. It's amazing.
Crazy, man.
Really great. I've worn the same pair of jeans and shirt combo for
I've
like
worn this sweatshirt
70
like
times.
every pregame show.
Yeah, it's really out
entire year.
it's really out of control. If you haven't noticed, guys, we got DNVR 1 back. That is reason to get the air horn, Kale. Throw that thing out there. We're back. So if you're watching this on DNVR 2, switch on over to DNVR 1. Today, pregame, postgame, we're both going to be over here on both channels, but we want everybody going back to our main channel because we're so close to 10,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. It opens up a whole new set of possibilities for us once we get there. I can't wait for it. I'm joined by the full cast today, other than D-Line, and we got a lot of stuff to get to. We'll get right into it. Later in the show, we're going to talk about some disrespect. Jamal Murray.
I'm fired up, baby.
I'm telling you, the most
up.
disrespectful list I've ever seen in my life. We're going to talk about that. We're going to compare Aaron Gordon and Jeremy Grant, see what they bring to the table, since obviously those guys are going up against each other, and then, of course, the bets later. But first, Harrison, what's the word?
The word is Jamal Murray is out tonight. It's a surprising omission from the Nuggets lineup. I mean, I was really hoping we were going to get the Petty Jamal game tonight.
He would have gone for 50.
Based on his social media activity today, I thought we would be getting that, but he's out. He is out, right knee soreness. I saw him warming up prior to this last game against the Magic with a wrap over his right knee. Seemed like he tweaked it at some point during the game as well. So he's out tonight. I assume Monte Morris will start. I haven't seen the starting lineups come out yet, but looks like Monte will probably start.
I thought he was visually hobbled, by the way, in that game. Like, there were moments, if you watch closely, there were moments where he looked like he was laboring.
Yeah. For Detroit.
Fingers crossed it's a short one.
For Detroit, all the regulars are in. Jeremy Grant's playing. Mason Plumlee's playing. They got a couple rotation guys out. Killian Hayes is out. But all their main guys should be in. And Michael Malone had a couple interesting things to say in the press conference. We're going to go to a clip that Kale's got in a second, but he was talking about the differences that he's seen between Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee this year in expanded roles for both of them compared to last year in Denver. And Kale, if you want to roll the clip, I thought it was an interesting comment from Michael Malone.
And for Jeremy, obviously, it's much different because here, even though he played 32 minutes a game in the playoffs, he wanted a bigger role offensively that he wasn't going to get here. So, for him, he's had the ball in his hands. He's their number one option, number one scorer, and he's taken full advantage of that. You have to give Jeremy a lot of credit. He's taken advantage of their offense, their system, and he's put up, terrific numbers for them. I know, to your point, they haven't won at the level I'm sure both Jeremy and Mason want, but Jeremy Grant's gone there and put his complete skill set on display, and you have to be pretty impressed with it.
So I don't know about you guys. The quote gets long. The first 5 seconds of that quote, I feel like were the real quote.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be here. What if these guys didn't want to be here? He wanted an expanded role, and he got it. Like, there's a little bite to it.
Well,
am I wrong?
The bite part is, even though he played 32 minutes per game in the playoffs, he wanted an expanded role. That is the key sentence right there.
Woo! Malone, spicy, man.
But I mean,
I love it. Subtle spice,
Malone,
just enough that you can be like, what'd I say?
He says that,
What'd I say?
And then he comes back with, but you got to give Jeremy credit. He's taken advantage of that full role. Although I would push back on that and say if Jeremy Grant's numbers don't look that impressive, actually.
They've tailed off.
At this point in the season. But no, it was a little spice from Michael Malone, I thought.
I think Michael Malone holds a grudge against Jeremy Grant.
I think now, not so much, now that Aaron Gordon has came in. Originally, I think so, like just how it all happened, and then also the idea of how does a person want an expanded role, and they have a role here, and that's what they're going to be throughout their entire career. That's who they've been. So I think that the idea is like, you are who we thought you were, and And we're starting to see that now. So I think that there's spice, but it's also just like more so like I'm glad that you got like that you're gone now.
Yeah.
Right. It's easier to say that after how the trade deadlines worked out.
You said not now. I think especially right now. Tomorrow, maybe not. But I think Michael Malone is 100% until I get to like have that. You see your ex, and you're driving your new car, and you're like, oh, funny running into you.
Right.
I feel like Michael Malone has petty, and he maybe gets over it should the Nuggets win tonight. If they lose, he might hold on to that petty.
Yeah, I just think it's the reason that strikes a nerve. I mean, they were so close as a unit to achieving this goal that they've been scrapping for, and someone says, I want the ball more. And, like, I don't know if it's personal so much as that, like, that is not who Malone is, right, as a basketball person. And I could see that irking him. So, like, personal grudge, not for us to say probably, but there's something there. There's clearly something there.
For sure. I think it's also important to remember, and you got to point it out, that he went to Detroit, according to Jeremy Grant, for other reasons other than basketball.
Right.
Like that had a lot to do with it, too. So you got to mention that as well.
Yeah. Any other notes from the pregame that we should go hit?
That's really it. I'm checking for the starters here. I don't see them yet, but like I said, I'd be pretty shocked if it wasn't Monte.
It was Monte came out.
Oh, it did? Okay. Monte Morris starting at point guard. No surprise there.
So there you go. Let's move on now because there's a lot to get to, and it really sucks that Jamal Murray's not here tonight because I really do think of all days, this would have been an all-timer. And I got to say, one of the things that sucks about the NBA, you sacrifice to be part of something special, taking fewer shots. And we thought, this is 2021, we thought we've evolved to the point where we understand points per game is not the greatest metric for how a guy is.
20 points per game is the most overrated statistic in the league. Anybody can put up 20 points a game.
And yet here we are. When we do see the ESPN list that says the top 25 under 25, what do we get? Luka Doncic, number 1. Strong agree.
Sure.
Yeah,
Zion Williamson, number 2. Strong agree. Sure. LaMelo Ball. Is this a crazy? Am I wrong? Like, I love the ball, like Lonzo LaMelo. I love that style. I've always said that style to me is like elite role player or elite secondary guy, whatever. But am I crazy thinking that's the third best guy? He's only played 25 games.
Yeah.
25 under, like the top guys under 25 is undefined, right? Is this? How good are they right now? How good will they be in a year, 2 years?
I think it's potential.
Potential.
Whatever that means.
But it's sort of a synthesis, right? And so I think that loose definition
you're right. It is
sort
a
of
synthesis,
allows,
yeah.
like when you poll like a group, you're going to get some weird things like LaMelo because people aren't necessarily sure what the question is.
Yeah, but if you say that, then you have to put Michael Porter Jr. in there if you go off of potential or upside because
Bobby
he's
Marks
the one
did.
that has that. Because I know the idea is like you're upset about Jamal Murray because he's proved so much. But if you're saying it's off of potential, then you go, okay, Jamal, maybe you're not in this one. But we have another guy that should be on this list then if you're going off of that.
Well, let's keep going because our rage is only beginning. Donovan Mitchell, number 4, which, again, I feel like this is, again, point per game, points per game really taking over here, like Donovan Mitchell. And look, he's great. I mean, this isn't an argument, but 4?
4.
We a little surprised by this?
How
Very
many points per
surprised.
game is Donovan Mitchell averaging?
A lot?
No, now he's averaging
He's
a lot.
averaging 25 a game. Jamal's averaging like 21 and a half per game.
Yeah, geez.
On a team with the freaking MVP
Right.
and another guy, Michael Porter, who can get 20 points
I'm telling
in his
you,
sleep.
Jamal Murray's willingness to not be a terrible shot. Like, we'd almost never complain about Jamal Murray's shot selection. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say I never complain
I
about
wish
it.
he would shoot it more, if anything. at
Yeah,
this
like,
point.
it's crazy to me that I never think about Jamal Murray and go like, man, he's really trying to do too much here. He almost, at 23 years old, has the perfect mix of when to shoot and when not to. And that's like, and you get punished for that. It's crazy to me. Jason Tatum, number 5. I'm sorry. Jason Tatum?
Don't get me fired up.
Jason Tatum?
Don't get me fired
He's
up.
good. He's good. Jason Tatum is up here this high. This number 5. All right, the next one's really going to piss us. We have too much to get through. Like, I'm only at 5.
No, please.
There's
please
a
keep
long
going.
list before we
I've
get
got
to
30
Jamal.
minutes on Tatum.
Number
so.
6, De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox.
This take is 2 years old.
No, that's trifling. That's what it is.
Trifling.
That is like not right.
I'm
It's
actually
disrespectful.
upset.
It's offensive.
It's offensive,
Putting him
man.
at number 5 is offensive.
People still talk about De'Aaron Fox like that Kentucky UCLA game from the tournament
that's so
happened
true.
yesterday.
Yeah.
That's how De'Aaron
De'Aaron
Fox
Fox on here, has he not been in the league for a while? Is he not 23? Has it impacted winning? Look, I understand, like, yes, not on a great team, this or that, but I'm sorry. At some point, do we have to say that putting up some points and stuff on a terrible team after 5 years now. Like, all right, some of this is on you.
There's so many names like in your head you could think of that are better than De'Aaron Fox.
Ben Simmons is number 7, and I'm upset for Ben Simmons that he is on number.
That
Are you telling me you'd rather have De'Aaron Fox than Ben Simmons?
No, and even Donovan Mitchell. Good player.
Donovan Mitchell, too.
Great player, but over Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons is, honest to God, 3rd on my list with ease, and like there's a gap. And then and then Jamal Murray's on my list, and we're not even going to get close to him. Devin Booker.
What has Devin Booker done? In the
Scored
NBA?
70.
I think Devin Booker's,
In a loss.
I think Devin Booker's really, really good.
I would put him on the list.
I would put him on the list. Above Murray, blasphemy, but on the list, I get it. If anything, I maybe would put him higher.
Has Murray ever played against the Suns and had a good game or anything? I don't know. Go ahead
It is so true. It's like potential. What about the potential to be the best player in a playoff series for a series and a half in a row?
Right. Oh, totally.
Does that not count?
Does it not
'Cause
count?
he
Does it not
already did
matter?
that.
Is that not an important thing? What
You'd
about because
think.
coming up clutch? Repeat, like being a part of a 2-man game that works every time. Just automatic.
Nah,
Insane to me.
You don't score 25 a game?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
but what about that first quarter? Right? Yeah, exactly. Bam Adebayo, really good player. He's a weird one because to me he's like such a solid dude. Like he's really good.
Just really balanced.
Really balanced. So I mean, I don't really have a problem
Bam's
with it.
great.
All right, you guys ready to be another one? And I love this player, but I can't believe he's over Jamal Murray. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now
this is
is ahead
because-
of Jamal Murray.
This is because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a good month. He had a good March.
That's so true.
It wasn't an amazing March, though.
It wasn't that good.
It wasn't a bubble.
It wasn't a bubble.
That's what I'm saying. Like, really, what does he do
Shai
that's different than like what
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Jamal does? Like, I would put Michael Porter Jr. over Shai.
You're forgetting about all of SGA's playoff success, though.
You're forgetting
I
how
forgot
he's
about it.
absolutely willed a Thunder team to the 10th seed in the
Oh
West.
my God, man.
By himself.
He
too.
has willed this Thunder team
By the way,
to
another great
amazing
player.
heights.
Another great player.
Of course, these are all good players.
but-
Oh, this next one.
Calm yourself.
This next one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
2
I'm
more
getting worked
segments
up.
left, yeah.
Brandon Ingram. Formerly of the Los Angeles Lakers, currently of I don't know if you guys know the New Orleans Pelicans. I think he's like their 3rd best guy.
Max contract,
and they
Brandon Ingram.
suck.
Man.
Brandon Ingram ahead of Jamal Murray, who has proven more in their career. My God.
No, having Brandon Ingram and SGA over Jamal, over like Trey Young, over
Winning
like,
doesn't
over these
matter,
other
guys. Winning does not matter.
I'm actually pretty glad Trae Young's not on this list. Sorry, Dev. but-
I would have him over Brandon Ingram. I would have him over
I
SGA.
don't think I would.
I would.
We got Jaylen Brown next. Really good player. 24.5, by the way. Year older than Jamal. Really good player. He's also on this list. I'm sorry. I just thought winning mattered. I thought if anybody watched, I'm telling you, this is where, and I love the stats. I love the analytics. This is where the context matters. Jamal Murray has accepted a role that has brought him to the Western Conference Finals at 23 years old and is possibly going to lead him right back there to the conference finals and maybe beyond before he turns 25 years old. And he gets punished for that?
The conversation just around Jamal Murray and his career is so ridiculous because first it was, he's done it a little bit in the regular season. Let's see what he can do in the playoffs. Goes into the bubble, has a historic playoff performance. Then it's, he did in the playoffs. Now he's got to do it every single night in the regular season. What does he do this year? Ups his scoring average to 21.5 points. Shooting 40% from 3 on 6.5 attempts per game. Now it's, he's doing it in the regular season. Let's see if he can do it in the playoffs again. And mind you, this guy, if you even go back to 2019, his playoff debut, he had some bad playoff games. He was very good if you go back and look at the game logs for his playoff debut. So he's been absolute ice in the playoffs. And, the conversation around his career is ridiculous.
Look, a year and a half ago, 15 months ago, this is easier to swallow. There's ground to stand on. Jamal Murray, to that point, throughout his career in the regular season, inconsistent, not on the level of these guys. Then we saw him play when it matters, and he did something that maybe 2 of those guys can do. Maybe. And so it's like, all right, fine, I'll hear this if we're ignoring the last 15 months of basketball. But then what is SGA doing on your list? What are we doing here?
The thing that's going to be really annoying is Jokic can't, for some reason, be the MVP. Everybody's trying to find an excuse for this. And part of it's going to be because he has too much help. I'm sorry. He doesn't even have a top 10 under 25 guy as his second best player. Doesn't even it's not a top 15 player, a top 15 under 25 guy.
That's a good point.
Like, this is ridiculous. I'm honestly I don't get upset with player list. I always say they're the death of joy, this or that. But there are mistakes you can make that are like so egregious that you step outside the lines. Jamal Murray's 13th. Michael Porter Jr. right behind him, 14th, by the way, which I found really interesting because, Michael Porter, like, if people had Michael Porter this low and Murray higher, you could say, he hasn't proven himself.
Sure,
and like,
sure.
we know he's better than this, but let's, you got to prove it. But the fact that he just stacked them next to each other, I don't know. Pick one.
Screw these guys.
This is like, oh,
Screw
God,
these
we
guys.
forgot to put these Nuggets in here. Quick, let's get them in.
That's exactly
so
what
true.
I do the high school rankings. If you have two guys from the same team, you're like, they'll forget about it. If we put them right next to each other, we're not saying one is better than the other one. We already made a mistake. Let's just put them together so no one can say anything. And then what do? We have a whole show where we talk about how dumb it looks and just how bored they were and just put a list together.
I do think.
Sorry, no, go ahead, Vogt. Go ahead.
I think Bobby Marks had him third on his personal list. MPJ.
Bobby Marks did a great job. Shouts to Bobby Marks.
In the club, Bobby.
Here's
In the club,
this little
absolutely.
stat from this write-up on Jamal Murray. Murray could be poised for another leap. Listen to this stat. Consider that Murray leads all players on this list with 6.8 wins produced. He's added the most wins out of anybody on this list.
Consider that.
That's not part of the argument.
Here's what bums me out the most about this. Denver, we bang this drum a lot, and it can be annoying if you bang it too much, but it's actually true and it deserves to be. Denver gets disrespected in these ways, right, where people they get overlooked. But here's what's frustrating about it. How long is Jamal Murray happy with what should be you win and people praise you?
Yeah.
But now you don't even win and they praise you. Now it doesn't matter. Like, he's got to go somewhere. He's going to average all these points. That's my fear. Michael Porter. One of the great stories that I wish people outside of these walls were talking about was the sacrifice a number one high school prospect could go through all that adversity and accept, you know what? I'm going to take 14 shots a game, not 20. I'm going to be an efficient player. I'm going to work on my defense and be coached and do all these things. But then you turn around and people are like, yeah, he's not as good as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And you think, what? I'm so sorry.
One thing about Murray, educated guess, but he's far more likely to want to go out and prove these folks wrong than appease them.
Oh, I like it. So this was good.
I think he's burrowing his feet deeper in the ground, deeper in the Denver ground.
I love it, man. I want this Nuggets team to have like an 8-peat. And everybody just have to suck it up and make excuses for why nobody on the Nuggets roster is actually good. It's just I'm sorry. I was frustrated with this list. So
guy gets on the low post one time, just starts throwing flamethrowers.
He's never going to get invited on another ESPN podcast after this.
I'm sorry, ESPN.
One and done.
I'm so sorry. LeBron's the MVP. I'll come back. I'm coming back.
We got a super chat that said the list was made by dudes who watch basketball via Bleacher Report.
Oh, it's so true, which is most fans, unfortunately. It's really a real problem. All right, let's move on. We're going to compare now Jeremy Grant and Aaron Gordon. JG and AG. Both guys really brought a lot to Denver at really key times, but we're going to compare which one is better. We might find out tonight. I imagine they match up with each other, which would be a lot of fun. Whoever out-duels tonight is the definitively better player. On-ball defense. Stev, who is the better on-ball defender, JG or AG?
On-ball defender. I'm going to go with AG. AG is the better on-ball defender. And it's actually not even anything you have to think about. Like, that's
you
just
did think about it, though.
That dramatic pause.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to like hypen it up. That's an easy answer.
Okay, so Dev goes AG. Where do you go, Harrison?
AG for sure. Not even a thought in my mind.
Easiest question of the night. Aaron Gordon, like, there's a chance next year, if he plays the way he has for 4 games, that he's talked about as the best perimeter defender. What he did to Kawhi Leonard, I'm telling you, you don't really get better than that.
Aaron Gordon loves to play defense. Jeremy Grant, obviously not what he wants to do.
Wow.
AG, what do you?
Yeah, put my head next to their head, Kel.
Put it over there on the left side. This isn't a TPA graph. You don't want to be in the far top right
don't
by yourself.
Put me in the Jokic,
no social distancing.
Third.
All right, team defense. Who's a better team defender? We'll go this way.
Yeah, this one's also Aaron Gordon. I really think so. I don't remember the Denver Nuggets team defense functioning on the level that it has for these 4 games.
No.
So.
No,
Yeah.
like Jeremy Grant was not a good team defender last year.
Yeah.
People forget this because he was really good in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he was kind of like a non-factor, to be honest. He was just like an average player. He really was.
Harrison said exactly what everyone is thinking. So we're gonna go with.
I'll stop.
AG?
I'll go last on this next one. Just a little hyped up here.
A little hyped up. The one thing I will say is that AG came in and immediately Denver changed up their scheme. Immediately had a system in place. Jeremy Grant didn't play small forward last year. Had he, maybe the Nuggets could have done some of the stuff they're doing. So it's a little unfair. That being said, Aaron Gordon has, while on the Nuggets for 4 games, defensive rating of like 96 right now, which is insane. Better team defender, I think. Rebounding.
I'll go on that one. The one knock, not even the one knock, but the biggest thing that frustrated me watching the playoffs last year was Jeremy Grant never rebounded. He just doesn't even try to bang. He does not box out. He doesn't do anything. He just tries to go off of pure athleticism. And then you look at the box score, and he's not getting any type of rebounds for him to be playing power forward.
Right.
When you watch him versus Anthony Davis, it was just like a beating every single time. And that was right after coming off of Anthony Davis not grabbing any rebounds for like a full series, and then he comes into the Nuggets one and he does whatever he wants. So it's easily Aaron Gordon who actually tries.
Yeah, I agree. Aaron Gordon.
What's interesting about Aaron Gordon, he is easily a better rebounder in large part because that was like Jeremy Grant's biggest weakness, or just non-point of emphasis. He didn't really try for him. Aaron Gordon, I still wonder, he's at 4.8 rebounds per game. Michael Porter at 7.5. That's obviously a very clear advantage for Michael Porter. I'm curious to see if this is something Aaron Gordon can, because he has the tools to be an even better rebounder, and I'm curious to see if that's an emphasis for him.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Like, Will Barton fights for rebounds.
It's tough
Porter
to get
fights
rebounds
for
on
rebounds.
the Nuggets.
That's true.
Jokic is a vacuum, so
Yeah.
at a certain point, there's only so much to go around.
Jamal Murray's supposed to get 6 rebounds a game, apparently.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Malone might have overdone it with his
How
rebound
many
challenge.
shots are we missing?
This defense is going to be really, really good.
Well, I once put Jeremy Grant on the honor roll because he grabbed 6 rebounds. So,
6.
I think it's Aaron Gordon.
I love that. Shooting, better shooter.
Jer-
I was going to say, finally, we have something that we could go with Jeremy Grant on.
Yeah.
Jeremy is the better shooter. He stays out on the perimeter. He doesn't rebound, so you might as well already sit out on the perimeter and knock shots down. But he's not like a bad shooter, especially in catching shoot situations. He's good with gravity. He scoots over, gets to the open spot. He's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, I like Jeremy in a catch and shoot situation far more than Aaron Gordon. I got fairly confident in Grant's open threes.
I think Grant's clearly
So
Grant.
I would say Grant too, but on the season, Jeremy Grant shooting 35.5% from 3. Aaron Gordon shot 37.5% from 3 in Orlando.
I just wonder how many of those are pull-ups and on ball.
And also, what is the
different types
percentage?
of-
How many shots a game is it?
Aaron Gordon 4.5 threes a game. Jeremy Grant
6.3.
6.3.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a big
That's a
difference.
good point.
It's Jeremy Grant. I think it's
Yeah.
easily, comfortably Jeremy
No,
Grant.
I think so too. Yeah, Jeremy Grant.
Put in the
Passing.
Rockets.
Harrison.
This is again not even close. Aaron Gordon. It's definitely Aaron Gordon. An underrated passer.
Yeah, it's the underrated part of this pickup and a big part of why that offense is humming.
Yeah, we've seen him in a lot more actions for it. He also talks about the willingness to pass, and Aaron Gordon does, which means that he actually cares about it, and it's something that he's actually tried to work on. We haven't seen a lot of it, but from what we have seen, it's been amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's been a huge takeaway too. It's Aaron Gordon came into this team, and from day one, he was like, I'm just going to fit in. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to fit in. I'm not going to stand out. We always got the sense that Jeremy was trying to get his. And, look, Jeremy was looking for his first big payday. He has the right to look for that, but it really strikes me the difference in their mentalities just coming into this team for the first time.
Well, it looks like it's clearly Aaron Gordon the better fit. Maybe that's why Denver is 4-0 in the Aaron Gordon era, looking to make it 5-0 tonight. Going to have to do it a little short-handed against Jamal Murray, but we went a little bit long. Dev, you're going to have to be extra fast today as we open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Of course,
Speed
the presenting
walks.
sponsor.
Time to make
We're going to have to make some money tonight for you and for everybody. The Nuggets favored by 11.5. Still, the Murray news didn't move the needle more than a point.
Yeah, which is wild. I'm again not gonna go into the
You can't
point
touch that
totals.
line, man. You can't touch
It's
the
so
line.
high. It really is so high, and you don't know what Nuggets team you're gonna get, or if they're salty or anything like that. I don't think they hold any type of ill intention to Jeremy Grant. They're just do your thing. They're on their own mission. So I'm not gonna go with the points at all.
Let's go to some props.
With the props, the one that stands out quickly is Jokic, of course. He hasn't been getting the points But now with Jamal Murray like not in the lineup, I think they have to go to him. He's also going to be going against Mason Plumlee. I think that he does take like some type of like.
What's the line?
You talked me into
24 and a half. So I
24 and a
would
half.
take 24
I put a unit on there.
over,
I put 20. I put a unit
That's
on
something
it.
that actually does stand out. Another player that stands out for me, which is a shocker, is Will Barton. His points are at 13 and a half. I just think that like not having a point guard the entire time, he's just gonna like have to be more aggressive, have to be
pick
more
up the
physical,
scoring.
and they're gonna like have to pick up the scoring in different ways.
Remember early in the year when Malone would like forget how much he played Barton, and Barton would have like 42 minutes because Malone would just be like, "Well, I need a point guard now. I need a shooting guard," and it was always
Story of
Barton.
his career, kind of.
Yeah. All right. What else?
I mean, it's easy to say, but I'm going to still say it. I think that this is a game that Jeremy Grant tries to get up for. I'm not going to go with full points. I would like to do points, rebounds, and assists with him because I think that he knows the rap on him was that he didn't rebound well and he didn't try hard. So I think tonight he really tries to get the rebounds. I think he really tries hard. I think the rebounds is only at 4.5 for him, which lets you know he's not like a huge rebounder out there. And there's going to be opportunities for him to get it. So I'll do points, rebounds, and assists over for Jeremy Grant.
Okay.
I think that's actually at like a low number at that.
Interesting. Is there anything else you like?
28 and a half is what I'll go with.
28 and a half.
What are the Will Barton threes? Is it 1.5?
1.5,
If
but
it-
it's minus 167
Okay.
to stay away.
There's a lock on the board. It's Michael Porter Jr. over 8.5 rebounds, and it's plus money.
Oh man, you're right. That is a lock. I'm
Yeah, you should
taking
do
it.
that
Wow,
one.
Michael
You should
Porter
do that
8.5, and it's plus. What do they know that I don't? I feel like a
Yeah,
sucker here.
what's going on here?
I'm taking it. You're right. Michael Malone. Like if Jeremy Grant has like 3 rebounds at the half, Michael Malone's gonna be like, "You're not playing again the rest of the year unless you grab every rebound," and he'll do it. He'll do it. Anything else? What do we like here? Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon. Who do you feel like has the bigger night tonight? I mean, with Murray out, there's gonna have to be some points. Gordon's coming off a 24 piece.
I'd say Porter. I'd say Porter's in for a big offensive night. And look, Aaron Gordon had, 23 points
Yeah.
the other night? I think that's on the real high end of like what he's going to score on a night-to-night basis. So I think it's Porter.
Yeah. I was wondering if and when we see the next 30 piece from Porter. And so, I mean, you can go so many ways with the Jamal's not playing angle.
Yeah.
I personally am going to go with the Porter points.
It's crazy because he's averaging, that many points. He's at 18.5. He's averaging more than that over the course of this little run here. So
Maybe they know something we don't.
maybe they think this is going to be such a
usually do.
blowout that there's just nothing, nothing left for it. I
Well,
don't
they
know.
don't know our Denver Nuggets that well, then, do they?
Well, it should be fun. I got my bets on the board. Can't wait to blame Dev if I lose money, or praise and celebrate him in the post-game show if I win.
That's what I'm talking about there.
Join us there, guys. Don't forget DNVR1. Hit the like button on either channel, both channels on your way out, and then subscribe. DNVR1. We're this close to being over 10,000. Do it for us, guys. Let's get there tonight. Can we get there tonight?
Why
It's like
not?
150
Why
shy.
not?
Probably not, but
Tell
we're
your
trying.
friends.
Tell
Tell
your
your
friends. Tell everybody. We'll see you guys then.